What's up everyone, welcome back again to your Heroclix headquarters. Today we're going to take a look at the top 5 Taskmasters in Heroclix. I was asked to do this after my top 5 Black Widows, because of course the Black Widow movie, Taskmaster was one of the main villains, and I was going to do that like right after. That was going to be my next video, but funny story, I filmed this video like 3 times. I keep having audio issues. Anyway, third time's the charm. Without any further ado, let's take a look at the top 5 Taskmasters. Alright, coming in at number 5 on this list of top 5 Taskmasters, we have the rare one from the Black Widow movie set. We'll take a look at his card here. So he only has Task Force, Assassin, and Soldier keywords. He does have this really cool traded leadership, but only if he's on a theme team or your starting force has 2 other characters from the Black Widow movie set. When he uses it and succeeds, he may also remove an action token from a friendly character with the Task Force keyword, including himself. So that's awesome. He can basically leadership off himself. Plus, if you look at his defense power, he has toughness and willpower. So that's kind of 2 ways he can leadership off himself right there. And he also has, at the beginning of your turn, you can choose combat reflexes or energy shield deflection or mastermind. And he can use the chosen power until your next turn. So pretty good defensive options there to go with his toughness. And then he also has on his attack, Blades, Claws, Fangs, and Flurry. And free, make a close attack, but only to target an opposing character that missed Taskmaster since your last turn. Also improved targeting characters is really nice too. This one's really more of a sniper kind of Taskmaster. He's got stealth to start with 7 range and range combat expert. So he'll be shooting with a 12 for 4. With no more pushing damage, that does kind of help him. Plus, he's already got 2 ways to take tokens off of himself. I mean, he had willpower anyway, but it's kind of better now that he can just remove a token from himself and keep going. And then he's got that Blades Flurry special. Honestly, I would probably like this style better if it just started out with a charge, or maybe he had running shot instead of stealth or something, even sidestep. I don't know. I like this stealth, but at the same time, I feel like he'd just do so much better if he had opening move and attack. I'm probably going to pick combat reflexes for this defense special almost every time, just because the stealth already keeps him pretty protected from range. But yeah, he's pretty solid if you can keep him in stealth and, keep him pretty high defenses with combat reflexes. That way, if they come up, you can potentially get a free attack, and you can already flurry blades, so you can like attack 3 times if they miss him, which is pretty crazy. I'd also probably try to give him super senses on a 6 with the Wonder Woman team ability, because he's a wild card. If you can work that into a team somehow, I think that'd be pretty cool. Honestly, my main downsides for this one is just that he has basically no good keywords, in my opinion. He just has Task Force, Assassin, like Soldier is okay, but it's kind of hard to build a decent theme team around him. And he's like 75 points, so a little bit high costed to just kind of sit there and stealth. So for those reasons, he's coming in at number 5. And coming in at number 4, we have the other common Taskmaster from the same Black Widow movie set. I like the sculpt on this one a little bit better because I like that sword swoosh effect. It's pretty awesome. The other one had like the Black Panther claws or something like that. But this one's really cool. He starts with this trait that says, when another character within line of fire rolls a single d6, you may place a die on this card with that result, replacing any die already here. When Taskmaster would roll a single d6, you may instead remove the d6 from his card and use that result. One thing I like about this is it's just line of fire, no range or anything, so he can see somebody rolling super senses halfway across the map, and he can just steal that roll. So if they do roll like a 5 or 6, of course you're going to want to keep that. He does have blades his whole dial, so even if they roll like a 3 or 4, you could steal that and use that. But yeah, charge, blades, super senses. Again, I would like to steal Wonder Woman team ability, especially with this guy, to up those super sense rolls. That way, if you do roll a 4, or I should say if your opponent rolls a 4, you can steal that and still get guaranteed dodge with the super senses. And leadership too. He can also use that die replacement for his leadership, which is really cool. And I just like the fact that this one is only 50 points, easier to throw onto a team. He's got move and attack with some blades. I really like that die replacement special because later on you get that regeneration there. You can, if you got a 4, and you can just use that or whatever. So pretty cool. I like that ability. I think it's really neat that he can just steal a single d6 roll from people. And I still have the same problem that he doesn't really have very many good keywords at all. But being that he's 50 points, there's a lot easier ways to throw him onto a a different type of theme team, like you could make him an Avenger or a Shield with Steve Rogers or something like that. But anyway, he's really cool, so for those reasons, he's coming in at number 4. All right, and coming in at number 3, we have the rare Taskmaster from Captain America and the Avengers. Like the sculpt on this one too, that sword and that cool energy shield. Again, really nice. Similar costume to the movie version, but anyway, one reason I like this guy more than the other ones is this just huge amount of keywords he has. Way easier to team build with all this way better stuff here. Then he also has this power elite trait that says power actions of opposing characters within X squares are double power actions instead. X is the number of friendly characters with the power elite keyword with different names. So even if you only have him, anybody basically adjacent to him needs to do double power actions instead of power actions. Which not really that great anymore. There's not really a lot of power actions that used to be good for like close combat expert and stuff. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, there's really not a lot of power actions anymore. You can kind of use it to stop them from using charge or make it harder for them to use charge if they were already adjacent to him, unless you had a lot of the power elite keyword characters, and you know, maybe within 4 squares of him or something, they could make it harder to use charge. But otherwise, honestly, not an amazing trait, but it's there. This one's a little bit better though. Assembled Bolts and Masters. Once per turn, when Taskmaster hits after resolutions, you can roll a d6. On a 5 or 6, if your force has 3 or more friendly characters with the Masters of Evil or Thunderbolts keywords, remove an action token from Taskmaster or give an action token to a hit target. If your force has 6+, do both. As long as you remember to roll that, that can be really helpful to keep taking tokens off him or keep putting tokens on other characters that he hits, whatever it need be, or both if you have enough characters for it. You forgot that I took on the Avengers free. Choose a standard speed or defense power printed on this card. Taskmaster can use that power till your next turn. That gives him a little bit of pick a power for all of these different powers that are speed or defense powers. He has blades almost the whole dial anyway, and he starts with Perplex and he ends with Outwit. So you do get a lot of options, you know, running shot, charge, flurry maybe if you're already adjacent. He starts with Energy Shield. I'd probably try to give him toughness or combat reflexes or super senses if, again, he's wild card. So again, I'd try to get him the Wonder Woman team ability there. To get maybe just pick super senses and have super senses on a 4 through 6. Perplex up his defense, he could stay very well defended there. Or perplex up his attack and, you know, get charge in there with a 13 attack, blades. You know, it's some pretty cool stuff you can do. You can also pick regen, so even if he takes just like 2 clicks of damage, you could pick regen, just heal right back up to the front there. Lots of really neat things you can do with this guy for only 60 points. Much better keyword options there to build teams with. Higher stats too. That 12 attack is really nice with the perplex and everything. So for all those reasons, he's coming in at number 3. Coming in at number 2 for Taskmasters, however, we have the Chase Taskmaster from the Black Widow movie set. Again, looks pretty freaking awesome there, I gotta say. I always love the movie set sculpts. They always look really cool. So again, kind of the same issue with the keywords I'm having. I feel like most of these are going to be useful on a soldier team. Improved movement hindering, you know, whatever. Improved targeting hindering is actually really nice to see through stealth. And then he has this awesome trait. When an opposing character targets Taskmaster with an attack, after resolutions, you may choose a standard speed, attack, or damage power that character can use. Taskmaster can use the chosen power until he chooses again. When Taskmaster attacks a single character, modify his attack +1 for each standard power he can use that the targeted character can also use. So that's really awesome. He can steal powers, and whenever he attacks somebody, he gets +1 attack if he has powers that they also have. Really, really cool. Running shot, sidestep, and stealth gives him a lot of mobility, and the stealth is always nice. Super senses and toughness, and when Taskmaster is targeted by an attack, modify his defense +1 for each standard power he can use that the attacking character can also use. So again, you already got good defense with the super senses and toughness. And then when he's targeted by an attack, he gets +1 defense for all the shared powers. Just like when he targets someone with an attack, he gets +1 attack for every power they share. So really cool powers there. Now this guy is 100 points. He's also a wild card. So again, with a dial full of super senses, I gotta say Wonder Woman team ability would be great here. And he already has precision strike, perplex, toughness, super senses, running shot, sidestep, and stealth. Plus whenever he's targeted by an attack, he can steal some of their powers. So that's really awesome. him. He already has high stats, but the fact that he could get up to like a 15 attack pretty easily on his own is pretty insane. And the fact that he could get up to like a 21 defense pretty easily on his own is also pretty crazy. So, I mean, for 100 points, those are amazing stats. He's got lots of powers to choose from, and he's honestly really great. I think really just the biggest downside to him is he's kind of hard to build a team with. I mean, you can pretty much build soldier, but I don't see him being very useful on anything else. I mean, you could do a task force team from the movie, but a lot of those task force guys were not great. They were okay. So I think you could build a pretty solid soldier team with him. But really, I just love the fact that he can get up to like ridiculously high stats and have like a bunch of different powers at once. But one other thing I will mention is that if he does take a big hit and he does go down to just like, charge blades, super senses, close combat expert, he's still a good close combat attacker, but he doesn't have nearly as many powers as he used to at the top dial. So it makes it a little bit harder, I think, because, at top dial, he has so many different powers that the odds of him having shared powers with somebody he's fighting is just greater. So as long as he doesn't get hit early, he can probably do a lot of damage. But anyway, he's really cool. So for all those reasons, he's coming in at number 2. Now, as always, before we get to our number 1 pick, we have an honorable mention to take a look at here, and that is the Taskmaster from Civil War, the Civil War event. He's got a red base because he was pro-registration side of everything. So this one's really cool. He used to be, honestly, probably one of the best Taskmasters back in the day, so I think he deserves an honorable mention here. It's pretty good keywords there. He's got a trait, give Taskmaster a free action and choose one of his combat values that is lower than the same combat value on one adjacent opposing character. Modify the chosen combat value by +1 until your next turn or until his dial is clicked. So basically, as long as he's adjacent to somebody that has some stat higher than his, he can +1 that stat. And then he also has, at the beginning of your turn, you may turn Taskmaster's dial to another click. If you do, at the end of your turn, return him to the click he began the turn on. So kind of like pick a power, but it's pick a click. You can see he has all these different powers here. Unfortunately, he doesn't have his dial on the back because that's an old card. One thing I also wanted to point out was he has the Minions of Doom team ability, which used to be a wild card team ability for villains, so he could copy other team abilities, but now it lets you heal if you KO a character. So that does actually kind of suck, because now that just gives him the ability to heal if he KOs a standard character. If you do his dial switch thing where you can go to a different click and then at the end of the turn you turn back to that same click, so it doesn't matter if you heal, you just go back to the same click at the end of the turn. So kind of sucks. I mean, I doubt they'll issue like an official errata. I don't know. I'd probably try to play him still as a wild card. That might help you out a little bit more than the Minions of Doom, the new Minions of Doom team ability. But anyway, you can see here he starts with Stealth, Precision Strike, Super Senses, and Perplex. He's got a 5 range. Then you can click him to click number 2. He's got Charge, Combat Reflexes, and Exploit Weakness. Click number 3, he's got Running Shot, Penetrating Blast, Energy Shield Deflection, and Enhancement, which is pretty nice. And then he's got Leap Climb, Super Senses, and Outwit. And then Sidestep, Energy Shield, and Range Combat Expert. And then Flurry Blades and Battle Fury. So pretty cool little pick-a-click options there. And then he goes back to this click he started the turn on. He's a lot of fun. And for all those reasons, he is my honorable mention for today. So without further ado, let's get to our number 1 pick. All right, and copycatting his way into the number 1 spot, we have the super rare from Avengers, Black Panther, and the Illuminati. I honestly really, really love this one. Now, he can't get the ridiculously high stats of the Chase from the Black Widow movie set, but he has a ton of P.E.K.K.A. power options. So take a look at what he can do here. He's got pretty good keyword selection there, but he has a trait that says Taskmaster doesn't count against theme teams. So you can throw him onto any theme team you want, and he will still let it be a theme team, which is really nice. But then he has this amazing P.E.K.K.A. power, free, choose 2, Charge, Flurry, Running Shot, Blades, Incapacitate, Penetrating, Precision, Combat Reflexes, Energy Shield, Close Combat Expert, Exploit Weakness, Range Combat Expert. So you can choose any 2 of those powers, And Taskmaster can use the chosen powers until your next turn. This turn, characters targeted by Taskmaster with an attack can't use the chosen powers until your next turn. So that's just really amazing. I mean, obviously, Charge Flurry is a really good one. Running Shot Penetrating Blast, Running Shot Ranged Combat Expert is now possible. Charge with Close Combat Expert is now possible. You could Close Combat Expert and Exploit. You could Flurry and Exploit, Flurry and Close Combat Expert. Really, the reason I like this so much is just the way the powers combo now versus how they used to when he came out. I think it just adds so much more versatility to his options here. It's just really, really good. You can also just choose something like Running Shot Energy Shield, because then they, whenever you target someone with an attack, they couldn't use Energy Shield. Kind of gets around that. Same thing with Charge and Combat Reflexes. You can charge Combat Reflexes to get rid of that. Just really, really good. All around to pick a ton of good powers. He already starts with Sidestep, Toughness, and Leadership there. So decent powers to start with, especially when you can get any other Running Shot or Charge or whatever. 6 range is pretty good, and he, of course, is a wild card, so you can wild card some stuff. Super Senses and Shape Change in the middle there is really nice too. Leadership is helpful. Perplex there at the end. I do wish his dial was maybe a click longer or something, but all in all, I think just the versatility of being able to throw him on any team and being able to pick any 2 of this long list of powers, and the fact that they can't use the powers that you target them with is just really cool. So I think for all those reasons, for me, he's coming in at my #1 Taskmaster. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this top 5 video. As always, if you enjoyed it, make sure you smash that like button for me. It does help out a lot. And let me know in the comments who you'd like to see on a future top 5 video. And feel free to tell me about some of your favorite Taskmasters as well. And before you go, don't forget to click that subscribe button so you don't miss any more videos. And if you guys would like to help support the channel even more, you can check the links in the description for our Patreon. You can see your name here in the credits with all these other awesome people, as well as some other cool stuff, so check that out if you're interested. And that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys again so much for watching. And until next time, this has been Heroclix Headquarters, signing off.